Amazing.
An amazing show opener there
Amazing.
with Toju Sachs and Isaac. What a wonderful and amazing world we are opportuned and privileged to wake up to on a daily basis. This is a weekend deal. On the deal today, we're talking about living against all odds. Behind every test result that will show sickle cell carrier or any hospital visit or emergency health challenge lies a heart that beats with anticipation, hope, and resilience.
Indeed, Thelma, today we are celebrating our silent warriors who are waking each day with quiet bravery. The resilience in their hearts, the stories of courage, hope, and unstoppable faith.
Indeed, as medical experts are unrelenting in their search for medical breakthroughs, so do the warriors are waking on a daily basis and say, not me, nothing will get me down today, not today, not ever.
From incredible stories of comeback after every crisis to heroes who simply refuse to give up. Today we are celebrating families who stand stronger together. It is your favorite weekend show, Weekend Deal, coming to you live from the network service of the NTA. I am Patient Eloyi Abba.
Whatever your challenge is, we're asking you today on the show to rise up again, rise up with us. Weekend Deal is streaming live on all our social media handles at NTA Network. Indeed, you can live against any odds. My name is Thelma Obaja, and of course, you do know that today is the gubernatorial elections in Anambra State, and 15 parties are contending against the incumbent governor of Anambra State, Chukwuma Soludo. In the course of the show, we will be touching base with our reporters and producers nationwide to give us accurate and real-time feedback about the elections. For now, let's join Zenret, our sister, for more news and highlights this day. I'm Thelma. Zenret, how are you doing today?
Well, ladies, good morning and welcome to the AM News. Now, the people of Anambra are set to decide who takes up the mantle of governorship today. But this is not without precaution from political analysts and supporters of various political parties in making sure that the recently signed peace accord by candidates of parties is upheld. Uchenna Wekoyo reports.
Violence in election is often escalated by loyalists of political contenders. With this in mind, political analysts have called on supporters of the various political parties in the Anambra election to queue into the peace accord signed by the candidates of the parties for a free, fair and peaceful election.
This peace accord should permeate into the very system of every single electorate. Whether you are going to cast your vote, whether you are an observer, whether you are a supporter, let everybody take the message of peace and do everything to promote peace on election day.
Do not let politicians divide you. These are your brothers, your sisters that you stay with every single day in the community. A politician from Abga today might deploy to APC tomorrow, or from APC to Abga tomorrow, and whatever fight you think they are having is ended. So please, as the candidates have signed a peace accord, please, the electorates, remain peaceful.
They advise that all the major players should think of the good of the state above individual ambitions. Anambra State will go to the poll on November 8th to elect who presides over the state for the next 4 years. In Onitsha, Uchenna Wekoyo, NTA News.
President Bola Tinubu on Friday received the Sultan of Sokoto, Alhaji Saad Abubakar III. The Sultan, who is also the President General of the Nigerian Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs, met the President at the State House. The meeting was private between the President and the religious leader, as the details were not made public. However, the consultation came a few days after President Tinubu met with the Archbishop of Abuja Catholic Diocese, Most Reverend Ignatius Kaigama, on a similar meeting. And these consultations followed the purported religious persecution in the country. The Sultan had earlier joined the Juma prayer in the State House, where the Imam Alhaji Abdul Wahid Suleiman Abubakar admonished the faithful to continue to support government's efforts aimed at ensuring peace and security in the country. He described peace as part of the prerequisites for individual and general development of the society. Nigeria's Vice President Kashim Shettima has urged world leaders to move beyond pledging to taking reasonable action in tackling climate change and its attendant natural disasters that claim innocent lives across the globe. He stated this during the Leaders Climate Summit at the ongoing 30th Conference of the Parties in Belém, Brazil. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrila reports.
Vice President Kashim Shettima, representing President Bola Tinubu at this annual climate conference, received by the Brazilian President Lula da Silva, reaffirmed Nigeria's global climate leadership with a commitment to achieving an emission reduction targets of 32% by 2035. The unveiling of the National Carbon Market Framework and Climate Change Fund forms the core of Nigeria's climate finance architecture, designed to attract billions of dollars in clean energy and adaptation investment.
Through these efforts, we are empowering small businesses, promoting clean energy, and transforming agricultural waste into opportunity. Nigeria's geography, from the Sahelian plains in the north to the mangroves of the Niger Delta, reflect nature's generosity and reminds us of our responsibility to preserve what sustains us. This is why we are investing in climate-smart agriculture, livestock transformation, and sustainable land use practices that reduce conflict over resources and enhance food security.
Brazil's President Lula da Silva said it will take a collective effort for the world to fight climate change, emphasizing that fighting climate change must be a priority for every government and individual on Earth.
At COP28 in Dubai, countries committed to transition away from fossil fuels. No more greenwashing, no loopholes. We must turn that committing into action while supporting low and middle income developing countries that are highly dependent on fossil fuels.
Nigeria's third national determined contribution, validated and submitted in September 2025, outlines the country's comprehensive strategy across energy, agriculture, transport, waste and industry, as the decade of gas strategy remains pivotal in powering the transition, balancing natural gas utilization with expanded solar and off-grid electrification to drive rural energy access and sustainable development. From Belém in Brazil, Abdurrahman Jibrila, NTA News.
Now, the courage of 22 young women in 1955 paved the way for thousands in a profession once seen as exclusive to men. Now, donning their uniforms, they set a new agenda for the force, breaking barriers and exhibiting the worth in discipline, duty and service. Francis Form tells the story of the female folk in the Nigeria Police 70 years after the first enlistment.
Thank you very much for those questions.
This briefing kickstarts the itinerary to honor the pioneering spirits of the first female officers, trailblazers who defied cultural barriers and societal norms to make history. Their legacy, like seeds sown in the sands of time, has germinated into a garden of gallant women officers, serving with pride, and today, the force celebrates the impact of their service in promoting community safety and peace building, as well as how they evolve in leadership positions, operational duties, and special units.
Their contributions, often made in the face of adversity, deserve not only our recognition, but our celebration. We also aim to inspire future generations of young women to see policing not just as a career, but as a calling, one that empowers them to serve, to protect, and to lead. And we expect renewed interest among young women in pursuing careers in the police.
As preparations heighten for the 70th anniversary, the force reiterates its commitment to deepen gender inclusivity, promote equal opportunities, and sustain policies that empower women within the rank and file of the Nigeria Police Force. Francis from NTA News.
And in a move to tackle unemployment and empower young Nigerians, the Nigerian Association of Chamber of Commerce, Industry, Mines and Agriculture, NACIMA, has partnered with the Gießen-Friedberg Chambers of Commerce in Germany to create new pathways for youth employment and skills development. Muplang Dakok reports.
Youths constitute about 70% of Nigeria's population, yet unemployment and underemployment remain major challenges confronting them. This partnership between the Nigerian Association of Chambers of Commerce, Industry, Mines and Agriculture, NACIMA, and the Gießen-Friedberg Chambers of Commerce in Germany aims to bridge this gap by expanding opportunities for youth employment. Already, 18 Nigerians have been selected for the pilot phase of the initiative.
We have started now a program to train young Nigerians in the area of hospitality. They already passed the A1 level, and next year they will fly to Germany in order to start their 3 years of dual vocational training.
When they have vocational skills, we up their skills, they will become very marketable. So that makes it a very, very good program which we want to skill up and get more young Nigerians, to participate and get exported out of Nigeria officially, and that will help legal migration.
Young people can come and do their business, they get support, there's a business center adjacent to it, so they can really scale up their business there and get support from the chamber movement.
The collaboration is expected to translate to economic prosperity and improved livelihoods for young Nigerians. In Abuja, Muplang Dakok, NTA News.
That's it on the AM News. We'll take a break now. Weekend Deal returns thereafter. Stay tuned.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, it is Weekend Deal, your spark of inspiration and laughter. And we are here every weekend to ensure that your weekend starts on an amazing note. Well, something happened in Otukpo recently where 9 deacons and 2 priests were ordained. And you'll be wondering why we're interested. Of course, we're interested in anything that happens around us, but this is special because one of our own, Francis Ogbe, his elder brother was one of the priests. Younger brother was one of the priests that was ordained. So in the family, we are celebrating. This little story will tell us more.
St. Francis of Assisi Cathedral, Otukpo, Benue State, was aglow with joy and celebration as families, friends and parishioners gathered to witness the priestly ordination of their sons. The highlight of the ceremony came when the 9 deacons were officially robed and consecrated as priests. Their joy knew no bound as they danced to the altar in thanksgiving to God for this divine elevation.
The 30th anniversary for that matter. It's such a very joyous day for all of us in this diocese. And since the past 30 years, we've been moving on smoothly, and God has been very faithful. The diocese has been expanding and growing, and today we are privileged to mark it with the ordination of 9 of our brothers who have now become priests. Added to the number that we had before, 153, we now have 162 priests in the diocese. They have been fully prepared and formed to embrace the Catholic priesthood My simple advice is that let them remain faithful to their vows. And in that way, they will always be happy.
That they should be real ambassadors of Christ. They should be rooted in Christ, and they should exemplify the values of Christ in their daily lives.
The celebration continued at St. Joseph Catholic Church, Orokam, where Reverend Father Peter Obe and Reverend Father Matthew Abuja held their first Thanksgiving Mass. A grand reception followed where families, friends and well-wishers joined in expressing their delight and gratitude to God for this remarkable milestone.
Today it's like it was never going to come, but today is here. We give glory to God. This is a journey of almost 12 years, but we thank God. Everything that has a beginning has an end. Today we have a priest in the family. I'm proud to be a sister to a Reverend Father.
My wish for him is that he may prosper in the ministry that God has called him, that he will be empowered by the Holy Ghost to perform in the ministry that he has been called, that God will continue to uplift him as he goes about preaching the gospel of Jesus Christ.
I'm so happy that one of my sons is a priest for over 12 years, and today is the day, so I'm so happy. My prayer for him that God will keep the lamp burning, that the oil will never finish from his lamp, that God will give him the strength to do the work in Jesus' name.
I feel so good because one with God is majority. If not God, I can't do it by myself. I pray for the two that may God Almighty continue to use them in his vineyard so that they will work earnestly for him in the mighty name of Jesus.
Amen. This is the day the Lord has made. We rejoice and we are glad indeed. I thank God that God has found my family worthy and blessed us with a priest. My wish for him is that the hand of God will be heavy on his life, that he will fulfill the calling of his ministry, and God will help him to be his battle axe and use him mightily for his kingdom. On behalf of the family, we say, to God be the glory.
I feel very happy. I feel very fulfilled. The journey has not been easy, but the grace of God has been sufficient. The grace of God is what has kept us from the day we started down up to this day. We are ready for whatever God wants us to do. We are ready to go wherever he wants us to go to. We pray he gives us the grace to be open to this future, because the future is in his hands.
To say I feel excited, I think it's an understatement, because it's actually a day that the Lord has designed. For me to be alive, to witness this wonderful day, this blessed day, I feel privileged. I feel it's an honor that I do not merit from God, our Creator.
Wishing the newly ordained priest many fruitful and fulfilling years in the service of God and humanity.
Anywhere the Lord sends our reverend fathers, there they will go. And to whom much is given, a lot more is expected. We know that in the nearest future, they will continue to touch the souls and the lives of many Nigerians, bringing them into the Christian fold. For our brother here, Professor Francis Ogbe, we celebrate you and your family largely.
Congratulations.
And seeing his mother there,
oh
you know,
God,
was so
emotional.
humbling.
Yeah, that was quite emotional.
Wow, wow, wow. Well done. Yes.
Well
Congrats
done.
to the entire family. Living against all odds. The odds may seem challenging. They may loom large. But we're telling you today to rise up and to tell whatever the challenge is that I am a warrior. No retreat, no surrender. We go all the way to Jos. Jos makes a very grand entrance. And that's our show opener today. Jos, take it from here.
In Nigeria, where communities thrive and resilience runs deep, many families quietly face a lifelong challenge written in their genes: sickle cell disease, SCD. It's more than just a medical condition, but a reality that tackles millions. Carriers, AS, are usually healthy, but can pass the hemoglobin S HbS gene if two carriers marry. Risks emerge.
So sickle cell is inherited in a manner where the patient or the individual inherits one abnormal gene from each parent. So the father, when the father is AS, okay, and then the mother is AS.
The connection between malaria and the sickle cell trait is more than science. It's a story of human resilience.
The sickle cell is said to be a gene or a trait that protects particularly Africans or people who reside in an environment where malaria is very prevalent or common. However, in the event the red blood cell is sickled, there is not sufficient oxygen for the parasite, the malaria parasite, to multiply and thrive. And then that now makes it less likely for the individual to have. But in the event they have, it is very common that they can have severe disease, because as long as there is infection or any form of stress, the sickle red blood cell break down easily.
Based on medical statistics, Nigeria bears the world's highest burden of around 150,000 babies born with sickle cell disease annually. Without screening, risks stay hidden, impacting families, the healthcare systems, and the future generation.
I don't participate in all this outdoor activity, physical exercise, because whenever I try it, I will discover that it will generate pains all over. So I learned tailoring back then. So whenever I step on the machine, so my legs, I will go through rheumatism. So there are so many things that if I do it myself, like using my body to do, I will discover that it will trigger crisis in me.
Meet the Yakubu and the Oladejo family. They didn't know their genotype before marriage, when their children were diagnosed with sickle cell disease at a tender age.
Okay, you are AS and your wife is AS. The implication was not explained. My experience with a child with sickle cell anemia, I doubt much whether adequate human word can explain the experience. The experience is very devastating. For the fact that the kind of the pains a child goes through is indescribable, humanly speaking.
Our eldest son, he died at the age of 19, almost 19. He was using a cane because he had already his hip was having problem. So you look at these children going through daily pain, and it breaks you emotionally as a mother. You will not know what to do, how to care for them, So emotionally it's stressful, it is devastating emotionally, and you live constantly with that fear that the child will die. And financially, you're not able to save money, you're not able to keep money anywhere.
About 10 years ago, he created a group. That's how we started Le Jojo. Because his senior sister, we lost him too. And the junior brother, we lost three of them. From beginning, you'll be enjoying with your husband and the children. But when this thing is getting serious, the sickness, a child that you are thinking that he will bury you, he will take care of you when you hold, and you will see the end of the child. It's something that is very bad. It's very bad. I'm feeling the pain.
I do something. You must take it important, not part of love. You love me, I love you, kiss my lips. No. They must think of their future marriage, because when husband and wife come together, we call them husband and wife. By the time the children begin to bear children, they become family.
Knowing your genotype is not just science. It is a choice. Screening before marriage reduces risks. Carriers can plan, access care early, and protect families from the numerous challenges that come with SCD. Sickle cell is not a taboo. It is a reality we can address, plan, advocate, Break the silence and insist on knowing your genotype to protect the children. Yet,
sickle cell remains a mystery, and I say that because sometimes children, I know growing up, they will tell you once you have it, this age. But today, people are living and living well. But question remains, how do you prevent it? And if you do have choices, let NTA Kaduna tell us about that.
In Nigeria, sickle cell disease affects millions, but prevention begins with awareness. Knowing your genotype is key.
If there is S in both people, the advice is that let them not marry to produce children, because that chance of producing sickle is there. So the ultimate aim is to stop that coupling, and over time, the percentage of sickle cell will reduce in the society.
Understanding this helps couples make informed decisions before marriage. Our Faith Choices supports responsible screening, aligns with our values. Some communities integrate genotype testing into marriage counseling.
Islam encourages and even emphasizes, not encourages, it emphasizes strongly on couples to go for tests before marriage. Is very, very necessary and important, because Allah in the Quran said, don't plunge yourselves, don't cast yourself into destruction. If you know that this thing that you do won't place you in jeopardy or danger, it is, haram. It is forbidden for you to go and doing that thing. So the necessity of, tests before marriage here becomes necessary and compulsory.
As a senior pastor, I have a counselor that screen them. They ask them questions, and one of the things they ask them, send them to a reputable hospital to test a genotype. If you marry as you happen to produce a child of, have SS, there's problem. And some brethren, some sisters, brothers will not agree. We will tell them that this is what you are going to face, and we'll call our family together, and they will now tell them this is what these children are insisting, and the repercussion and what will happen. It is not time to tell what the repercussions some of them will have told them and they refuse to do. We've also seen those who have agreed and the result is good.
Balancing emotions with scientific advice is challenging. Love each other, but our genotype is incompatible. It's a tough decision to make. Government, schools, faith institutions can promote awareness and screening. Prevention is possible with awareness and informed choices.
Tolu Sachs and Isaac in the building. Many thanks. Because we are on our way. We are on our way. Give it up. Yeah. Because we are on our way. Courtesy Tolu Sachs and Isaac. We're living against all the odds. And yes, we can. However you're feeling today, rise and know that you keep on rising. As long as you stay with us, we're here to up the game. You know how we do it. We nurture it, we nurture it, and we make it all about you. Our guests are here. We meet, greet, and make very welcome a wife, a mother, and a passionate sickle cell advocate. She is the founder and project lead of the Strong Cells Foundation. Her profile is now.
You're welcome to Weekend Deal. Those pictures are hot.
Thank you very much.
You're so welcome. She's not alone. There's another very pretty, amiable young woman sitting by her side. She is Ambassador Gwen Anati. She is a project manager, health and community well-being advocate. Let's see her profile.
It's great to have you with us today on Weekend Deal. Thank you. Ambassador Gwen Ananti. What a beautiful name for a beautiful lady.
Thank you.
And most importantly, for a beautiful, laudable cause. That's why we're gathered here today, to give hope and succor and encourage those who are persevering that they truly can. We're talking about living against all odds in terms of health, whether mental, whether physical. You know, people are living with daunting challenges, but we're telling them that there's hope and they're all warriors. Tell us about your experience working, encouraging people so far. Have you done it just only in Nigeria or outside the shores of our country?
Well, outside the shores, yes. You know, when it comes to living against the odds, I don't like anything that makes me cope. I rather deal with it and rise above it. Because if I use the word coping, how long do I have to cope? So I rather fight it. And, you know, as human beings, we're wired to solve every problem. But not every problem is your problem. So, you know, with spirit of discernment, you could say, not today. This is not for me. I'm not even going to pay attention to any of this. And most times you find out that particular problem that you were killing yourself for just solves itself. And then you wonder, so why was I stressing myself all along? So most times I try not to like head first, oh, I need to fix this, I need to fix this. It's not all is my problem. Yeah, so if I wake up and say, oh no, not today, I'm not dealing with this, not today. You know, it's an energy shift. Something shifts instantly. I don't know, like, you know, life is mysterious, and life is also energy. So when you tell your mind that shift happens, and for some miraculous reason, something good might just come up. Be it a call, you know, something that will take your mind off it, and then you find out that you're busy at the end of the day. You're like, oh, what was that earlier today? and you can't even remember what it is in the first place. Or sometimes it's been fixed by itself without you having to have sleepless nights, miss your meals, and lose weight.
Because frown, stay bitter and despondent.
Pass it to everyone around you. Yeah.
Okay, that just tells me that we need to choose our battles. Not every battle you fight.
Yes.
Just choose your battle. No, not today. You go that way.
You go that way.
I'm going to go this way today.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yes.
So, Hawa Usman Sani, I do know that you're doing an amazing job. It's a Strong Self Foundation. Tell us what propelled you to that direction. What started it for you?
Okay. I am a sickle cell warrior myself.
Whoa! Give it up for you.
Thank you very much. And I'm 42 years. Wow. And I grew up in Lagos. And I know the battles we faced with the crises, the complications, needing blood occasionally, and what my parents had to go through financially and everything just to make sure that I'm intact. I know my mom has struggled a lot, and my dad, to make sure that I'm okay. Educationally, career-wise, sickle cell is something that could drain you if you let it. But I must mention something. Sickle cell can be subjective. The struggles may be different for everybody individually. So, what pushed me to do Strong Cells? I believe that's the question.
Yes.
I grew up with all the struggles, and then I saw other sickle cell patients. I'm like, this is not the kind of life I want to live. I see it draining them. It kills you in such a way that you do not want to go on. You're like, what's the point? The next crisis is definitely going to bring me down, and I don't have anywhere to fall in. And there was a period in my life where I couldn't really hold down a 9-to-5 job because I was constantly in the hospital. Maybe I get a job and I start within 2 weeks, 1 month, maybe the journey to work, the hours, I'm falling ill. So I just thought about it. I mean, what can I do for myself? What can I do? And I'm the kind of person that feels, what can I do for myself? I'm also thinking, what can I do for others? What can we do together? How can we help each other? So that's how we started Strong Cells Foundation. I and a few friends were like, okay, let's just come together and do this. So we started that. What we're pushing is not, oh, let's look for how we can pay our next hospital, get people to pay our hospital bills for us. How can we buy medications and things? How can we help ourselves? How can we bring ourselves to this place, this mindset where we feel we're going to thrive despite these limitations? So that was the whole thing that propelled starting Strong Cells Foundation.
And how far have you gone with that? I mean,
we've done a lot of programs. The title is, we have a program we've done we did one, the last one we did was last year, titled Thriving with Sickle Cell Disorder. So we get a lot of sickle cell patients that are doing fantastically in different fields. I mean, we have people that are industry leaders, top bakers, top directors.
Okay, sorry, I'm not cutting you, but you know, in those days we believed that once you're 16,
yes,
that's the height you
18,
can go.
that's
18,
what they used to
right?
tell us, yes.
So how have you, what made you overcome? Because I'm seeing many like you, have friends like you. What are you doing differently? Because there's hope. That's what it means.
Okay.
Yes.
What are we doing differently? First of all, is the mindset that I can.
Which is what she also mentioned.
Yes.
Mindset is key.
Yes,
key.
mindset
There's a shift.
I can be. And there's a willpower. There's a willpower. There's times like we get to the hospital and I'm like, this one will not be the last, for God's sake. I still have things to do, things to achieve, and you know that I'm going to get through this. We do all we can to make sure that we get ourselves the best health care possible. That's one thing. If my doctor says, oh, this is the medication I'm going to take and all that, I try to follow through. And then I still look for alternatives. Oh, what can I do? Maybe herbal medications or my own, the ones that I know that will not end up hurting my liver and things like that. I try to be extremely careful. Yes, but I think it's actually a mindset thing. I don't want to be looked at as the average sickle cell person with the green eyes, the pot belly.
Don't look it at all.
Looking for how to be looking for sympathy about. I know it's not easy, but then I think it's a mindset thing.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am. It's interesting that you're on the same page, irrespective of the fact that at a time in our lives, sickle cell was looked at as, we used to look at them, over over time, even before we met you, we are seeing formidable people standing up and saying, like you said, not today. In fact, not ever.
Not ever.
However it may be, I will keep lighting the way. Yes. Let me talk with you, Ambassador Gwen. There's so much, in talking about health, we will not neglect our mental health. And that's something that has been a focal point in your journey. Yeah. What do we find? Because some people even have mental health challenge and are unaware. Are there symptoms? What is the treatment and management like? What's the journey so far? Where are we?
Okay, first of all, when we say mental health, the first thing that comes to mind is, I'm not mad.
Psychosis.
But we're all mad. One way
or the other, right?
Some more than others, just like we were talking about. So, but the thing is, anything that makes you not take informed, instant decision in a situation, either flight or fight, depending on what the situation is, means there is a chemical imbalance in your system. Because as we're seated here, if we hear boom, our response will be different. You might want to go hide behind that chair. I may want to run towards that door. But if I have to sit and not move, that's a physical symptom.
First off.
Anxiety. So most times, we've heard of anxiety, we've heard of depression, we've heard of the more serious ones, the bipolars and all of that, but that's way off. So someone who, gives off that expression, you could say, oh, the person is having anxiety or a panic attack. The challenging thing is, someone who's having a cardiac attack or panic attack, they all have similar symptoms. Because
panic attack and cardiac attack.
Yes, it's similar because there's the palpitation, the sweating, and of course, the person at some point drops.
Okay.
So, a diagnosis is what would differentiate.
Okay.
So even someone who's depressed can show off the same symptom as anxiety. They are all similar. But when you've been clinically diagnosed, it could be separated. And even if it's depression, it's not a death warrant.
Not at all.
As Nigerians, we're strong people.
But there's stigma attached still up till now.
Yes, because, just like every other health issue we've conquered in the past, just like, when there was no antibiotics and now antibiotics is everywhere and we've used it to cure a whole lot of things, there is little awareness on mental health. And I believe, over a period of time, people will be more open to seeking for help. Because the thing is, sorry to say this, please, they should not stone me, but some motivational speakers are the issue we have. Because, they keep telling you, you're strong, but they keep messing with your mental health. It's okay to break.
Yeah. Okay, to even fall.
Yes.
As long as you can stand up.
Yeah, I mean, the best thing about hitting rock bottom is the only way to go is up.
Yeah.
Nowhere to go anymore.
Nowhere to go than to go up. So it's okay to break. It's okay to be ill. It's okay not to have a bad day. I don't have to camouflage and say, oh, I'm strong. Sure. I can say, I know I am not strong now, but I'm fighting to get back there. But it is like, this is the reality. You tell yourself what it is. Depression is real. And it will kill you faster than cancer. Because there are no signs. There are people, there was a case where a lady was found dead in her bed. She's been dead for a couple of days. People didn't know, her friends started checking in, calling and all of that. When they found her body, she had tear marks on her face.
Oh, no.
So, in other words, she cried herself to sleep and died from there.
Oh, no.
So, all she had to do was probably talk to somebody. And that's why we're here. If you feel maybe telling your friend, oh, they'll make a story about, what about them?
Indeed.
Everyone is dealing with something.
Indeed.
No matter how much we want to come out all made up,
Indeed.
which is okay. We don't have to look like what we're going through.
Indeed.
But, let's normalize these conversations. Let's talk. How is your day?
Yeah.
How are you feeling? let's talk about it, even in our workplaces.
Let's talk and also expect the answer not to be perfect. Often when we say, how are you doing? If someone starts to tell you a little about how they are doing, people shift. That's why people don't speak honestly anymore, because no one really wants to know how bad your day is.
That judgmental expression. Let's normalize it. If there is much awareness on these mental health conversations, everyone can freely express certain things. Well, you may not share in details, but at least let somebody else know or hear your story, because your story will encourage somebody else.
Good one.
Indeed, you are totally not alone. Whatever you're going through, trust me, somebody has gone through it, and somebody will still go through it. But when we share, then there is light at the end of the tunnel. NTA Sokoto will be telling us the story of a family that is dealing with sickle cell.
In the heart of Sokoto, behind the everyday bustle, our family is quietly battling a painful and lifelong condition, sickle cell anemia. A disease that turns ordinary blood cells into sickle-shaped traps of pain and fatigue.
It's a difficult case for a parent to have a child who has a sickle cell anemia. That particular parent, they are supposed to work hand in hand with both the father and the mother to raise that child in a good way, because it's a disease that can surprise you at any time.
For 18 years, Shafat Muhammad has fought tirelessly to keep her son alive with sickle cell anemia. Through sleepless nights, hospital visits, and daily struggles, she never gave up hope.
He is my first child. Most times, doctors say you only notice a sickle cell patient after 6 months of birth. But in our own case, we noticed it while he was 3 months, because his legs seemed to have no bone.
Before a child can have sickle cell anemia, the father must or most likely be having what we call the genotype of the red blood cells to be AS, while the mother is also AS. So with this, the child is likely to now have hemoglobin genotype of SS.
Sokoto State records one of the highest rates of sickle cell in northern Nigeria. Doctors say hydration and regular checkups can reduce complications.
Okay, in some cases, we may need to exchange their blood. Get a blood that is good, normal hemoglobin, AA, transfuse them with it. So this will make them to stay for a long period of time before they start having crisis.
There are also cases of children having to miss schools. Teenagers face stigma, while parents live with constant fear of the next crisis.
At times, if a child went to school, you prepare him to school. When at school they will call you, they will just say the child just fall down in the class, or he's sick. They brought him at home. Maybe you are at work or your husband is at work.
Lokacin da ya shiga adolescent stage in shi, so ina tunanin ko saboda hormones in shi. When he enters his adolescent stage, possibly because of hormonal changes, he encounters more crises than before. Now he hardly sleeps, and there is frequent blood transfusion for him now than ever before.
But amidst all these challenges, hope shines through. Support groups, non-governmental organizations and health workers are helping families access care and information.
For what we are feeling and calling for the caregivers to make sure that they take their children to the health facility to be vaccinated, and also to do the preventable action to make sure that if the season we are required to make sure that they take care of their children, especially by covering their children with their clothes.
My advice to the parent, they should take care of the child. What the child is supposed to eat, where the child is supposed to sleep, supposed to carry him to the hospital, more especially to attend that clinic. There is a clinic in every hospital for a sickle cell anemia child.
That was quite enlightening, reaching us from NTA Kaduna. It has nourished our discourse. NTA Sokoto, wow, thank you so much. And it's time for us to, let me come back to Mrs. Sani. Mrs. Sani, we're talking behind the scenes now about when challenges come, health challenges, especially for people who think this is like a death sentence. We usually go from one place to the other. Many nooks and crannies become familiar to us. Do we marry that with medical intervention, or do we do that alone? Are there really solutions there?
Okay, I wouldn't say there are no solutions, and I would not say there are solutions. There could be solutions, but I don't want you, or well, I would use myself personally, for example. There was a point where I was really, really desperate. I mean, there's no way I didn't go through. And you know...
You wanted the sickle cell...
want it gone.
Gone.
Yes, I wanted it gone at a point.
Did anyone tell you it was possible to have it gone?
Well, yeah, people will tell you it's possible to have it gone. And I'm 40-something, so you know that I'm not quite young. And I come from this generation where our parents definitely... There was no medical this thing. Technology is better now, so there are more medical interventions, more advanced, so there are more medical. So then when I was younger, of course your parents would be wanting solutions left, right. People would say, oh, even up to the gate man in my school, I remember back then would say, there's someone in Ekpeo, if you go there you will get killed. My parents would take me there because they loved me so much to be looking for solutions.
Are you an only child?
No, I'm not.
You had siblings?
Yes, I had
Is
siblings.
there any other warrior in your family?
No, I'm the only warrior in my family. And as I grow older, two friends will tell you, oh, there's somewhere for cure, there's this prayer person, oh, come, let's go there. You would go. Some of them will tell you some ridiculous things to do, and then I'll be like, hey, I can't do this. Some you will say, okay, let's try. Then I believed, I saw that some of those things that I was trying to look for solutions would be draining me mentally. And at the point of draining me mentally and emotionally, it will lead to a crisis. I mean, there was one time like this, I went for 3 weeks, what would I say, deliverance. I would like, yes, I am a Muslim, but then somehow I got convinced to go for this prayer session. And we came, they said 2 weeks at first. I kept coming every day, early morning till like 12. You will stand for hours. Imagine that.
How you were eating?
For hours. They will say you should fast, you will do this, you will do all that. At the end of the 2 weeks, they said, oh, that they've seen the cure. Remaining 1 more week. We did the extra 1 more week. Then they said, oh, you've been permanently cured. Do you know, immediately after they did the Thanksgiving for the
crisis.
In fact, I've not seen the type of that crisis.
Yes, the stress you have been through is enough for anybody said to.
It was bad. That was when I started giving myself brain small. So there are some like this. They will say, oh, there was one time that it went rampant. They said one papa somewhere has seen one solution that there were these drugs from Katsina or Sokoto. I'm sure every sickle cell in Nigeria, patients in Nigeria bought it because people from abroad were calling me that, Hawa, there's one cure here, oh, I don't mind paying for it, for them to send it to you. They will send the thing. It didn't work. So, yes, what I do now
Did you have mental health challenges at that time?
At that time, yes. There was a time where it really hit me was I had, after my marriage, my pregnancy, I had some serious complications. I was in the hospital a lot, you need bloods and this. Eventually, I lost the child. And that one hit me really bad, really, really bad. So it was a different ball game entirely. You had to process that post-trauma stress disorder.
What was your support system at that time?
Okay, my support system, I would say thank you for my mom, my husband. They've supported me immensely. My mom would leave everything at the drop of a hat or a call. Hawa is not feeling well. She would run down to take care of me. So my family has been great support system. And then God has really blessed me with good friends. They would just say, oh, Hawa, you're not feeling well. There was a friend, my friend Hilda, just recently. She was like, I don't like the way you're sounding. Around May, April, I had some complications that I had to take treatment for. And then I did some MRI and everything. And there were some complications with that. And I woke up and I couldn't walk for like a day. And I was really sad. I was like, which kind of life is this? Why am I doing this? But she said, no, Hawa, you have to get yourself back in order. How about you do therapy? So, and okay, I was like, okay, let's just go along and do this. After the first 2 sessions, she said I can see improvement. So maybe it's just the support to just rant to somebody be advised and things accordingly without feeling judgment or being
judged or pitied.
Yes, so
interesting. You want to add your voice?
Yes. Just to add to what she said, whatever you believe is what works for you. If you feel it's prayer works. But at the end of the day, if you tell yourself, not today, I am done with this, like she said, I have things I need to achieve, I have things I need to do, I am a destiny helper to people. If I die, what happens to them? When you sit by yourself and talk to yourself, I can assure you that maybe every single prayer that has been prayed for you will now work for you. Because chances are sometimes, you're just praying, let it be. But when you've not gotten to that broken place where you tell yourself, I cannot live my life like this. This is not why I'm here. I'm not here to be a burden to people around me. I'm not here to even be a burden to myself. That shift that we talked about, if you've not gotten to that point, things won't shift. Things will not start happening the way you want it. So until you get to that point, then that's where it starts.
Sometimes you have to break to pieces before you begin to put the parts together.
That's the best way.
Yeah.
That's the best way.
But now, in our context in Nigeria, who needs therapy? The woman who has gone through a terrible divorce, somebody who loses a loved one, somebody who lost his job. Who needs therapy, actually?
Everybody. Everybody does. Like the list of people you mentioned, they need it. But the ones that are not talking need it the most. Because, like when we're whispering.
Yeah, that we're gisting.
Yes, when we're whispering. We've all gone through traumatic events growing up as kids.
Yeah.
We never had to heal any of it. We just felt, because we're grown, we've outgrown them. No, they're there. Because there are certain things that will happen to us in our adult life as triggers. You find yourself acting in a certain way. You can't explain it because the childhood trauma was never dealt with. So now you're talking of the child with the trauma that has grown to get married and got divorced. That is another adulthood trauma. So we all need it. At the end of the day, even if you don't know what yours is, talk to somebody. It's not pills. I don't like pills. That's why I'm in clinical psychology. Away from the hospital, because I believe all we need is, we sit here with a cup of coffee, we hold hands, and then you talk about something, even if we have to cry, we all cry together. You hear my own, you'll be like, oh wow, I'm not going to talk about my own. Auntie, your own is worse than mine. We laugh over it. And then she shares her own, be like, no. All of that, like, you can't explain it. It's an energy detox. You can't find it in the pharmacy. There is no energy.
There's no one pill combination or supplement that can handle it.
No, it's by being in a safe
So what
space.
are people popping then? That's story for another day, right?
Chemicals.
That could be detrimental
in the long run.
In the long run, the kidney, the liver, but it would work. But I believe in, how are you? What was your childhood like? Is there something you want to talk about? Most times when you ask these questions, you see the person break down. So that's the root cause of whatever that is happening. You see people, they are not just happy. You wonder why. Go back to how they grew up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Anyway, our conversation today just underscores the fact that it's never too late to rise again. It doesn't matter how long you've been down, you can rise again. And the sun will shine brightly, and the wind will feel better, and the songs of the bird will be sweeter in your ears. We'll go on a break. When we come back, our conversation continues. Thank you so much. Woo! Salutax, thank you. Thank you so much. That was beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Your messages are coming in. Let me quickly take some. Somebody wrote, is there any unprecedented scientific feat fundamentally with reference to genetic engineering and molecular genetics that is geared towards extinguishing globally in total sickle cell revolutionary anomaly? Okay, so much big words here. I mean, is there any breakthrough to wipe it out? That's what he's trying to say. Don't worry, we have an expert in Lagos that will tell us about that. And then somebody says, good morning, beautiful lady. Thanks for bringing these two beautiful, unique ladies to the studio. It is so inspiring listening to each of them. They have gone through a lot, adversities to discover purpose. I am a physician, and I witness the pain involved in seeing the pains of patients with sickle cell disease. It's even difficult for the doctor to talk more of their patients. I really like their mindsets, particularly the fair one who talks like a mental health expert, and I think she is. I think each of these ladies should pen down their stories for posterity. I love you both. Honor her. My name is Vivian Avado. I'm 16 years old. I live in Benue State. I am SS with bilateral hip problem, which requires replacement with 8 million naira. And my parents are poor. They cannot afford the cost. I believe that you can lick me up. Thank you and God bless you. That's sad. Oh, good morning, Weekend Deal. The studio is filled with beautiful ladies. I like what you're doing. God bless you so much. Thank you. We appreciate it. Good morning, Weekend Deal ladies. Today is amazing. I wonder how you get to your topics. Well done. Thank you very much. Thelma, take it from there.
Wow. It's these messages that make every effort towards every information promotion, beneficial for us and for them. Okay, there's much talk coming from our Lagos studio where we'll meet Caleb Audu. Caleb Audu is the Program and Strategic Communication Manager, Sickle Cell Foundation, Nigeria. He's in Lagos. Do we get to see his profile before we meet him?
Welcome, Mr. Caleb Audu, to Weekend Deal. It's a pleasure to have you. We heard that you had some traffic problems. That's why you came in a bit late, but to say thank you so much. I do know that you're working with a foundation that has to do with sickle cell. Just tell us straight, what is your foundation doing as far as breaking new grounds in discovering treatments and the things you do for people? In discovering treatments and the things you do for people.
Thank you so much for having me this morning. Sickle Cell Foundation Nigeria is one of the foremost institutions in the world driving end-to-end intervention around sickle cell disorder, from prevention to comprehensive care. And talking about recent breakthrough, the foundation, in partnership with Lagos University Teaching Hospital and Vanderbilt University in the United States of America, we launched and commissioned the first comprehensive bone marrow transplant facility in all of West Africa, right here in Lagos. And we've been able to carry out 3 successful bone marrow transplants. And for those wondering what that is the medically known cure to sickle cell disorder. And since September last year, since the center opened, we've been able to carry out 3 successful procedures. So that is persons living with sickle cell disorder walked into our center and walked out of our center without sickle cell disorder. And that's an incredible breakthrough. And it's no small feat at all, and we celebrate that.
Caleb Audu, what a great fit. Nigeria and indeed the world celebrates you. We just got a message now from one of our lovely sisters from Benue State. She's just 16 and she's talking about the surgery that will cost 80 million. 8 million, and for her that's quite a limiting because of her background. Is your foundation looking to, do you seek those who are unable to support themselves financially? Are you able to make an impact?
Oh, yeah, we do. Over 30 years, Sickle Cell Foundation Nigeria is a 30-year-old institution. And for the last 20 years, Sickle Cell Foundation support hospitals across Nigeria. In Kano State, for example, we partner with a hospital, I'll withhold the name, where over 80,000 patients registered there are living with sickle cell disorder. So we drive patient relief programs to cover for hip replacement surgeries, like this one as well, free routine drug administration, genetic counseling. We train caregivers with skill acquisition programs, and generally we look out for the general welfare of persons living with this condition in Delta, or your state, Edo State, Kano State, even at FCT, we've been able to adopt healthcare facilities where we take care of patients living with this condition. Our vision is to alleviate the burden of sickle cell disorder, and we do that comprehensively.
Sickle Cell Foundation, kudos to all you do. I've known them for over 30 years, and my sickle cell advocacy journey, actually passion, started there in Lagos. I used to attend Luth, and I attended some of the events they used to have when I was in secondary school. Sickle Cell Foundation, Dr. Akinyoju then. How's it doing? How's he doing?
He's doing well.
Anything?
Not really. I mean, just to commend him on what they are doing.
What I was thinking was, Sickle Cell Foundation, we do hear that Nigeria has the highest burden, not just in Africa, but perhaps in the world. Is your foundation working alone? How are you synergizing with other like-minded organizations so that we can truly make an impact on those who need your support?
We believe that, much work can be done in silos. So over the years, we've been part of the coalition of NGOs for sickle cell disorder. We're also part of the NCD Alliance, and we've been working, hand in hand with the federal government of Nigeria, the Federal Ministry of Health as well. Recently, we contributed to the development of the management guideline for sickle cell disorder across Nigeria. And whatever we do in Nigeria, like I tell people, we export sickle cell. So whatever we do, from policy to prevention, structured program implementation and intervention, whatever we do here is a prototype for the rest of the world to copy. And SCFN, in its own place as an institutional leader, we've been able to collaborate with stakeholders from private sector, the government, to see that we are able to come to synergy to alleviate this burden, because the truth is sickle cell disorder is not really a global health priority. And even in Nigeria, where we are the sickle cell capital of the world, we're not necessarily getting the level of attention that's required in this space. But I believe that, as we go on with heavy advocacy, and thanks to NTA for this platform as well, we'll get more interested parties coming on board so that we can join hands to change the current narrative in our country. Yeah.
Somebody like Vivian, I'm sure she's dancing in her house right now, knowing that if she connects with you, there is hope. God bless all you do. We'll go to Ilorin now, and then they will be joining the conversation. Ain't you, Ilorin? Take it away. Ain't you, Ilorin? Take it away.
I've asked for NTA Laurie is ready to join the conversation.
Yes.
Despite decades of awareness campaigns, many Nigerians still do not know their genotype, a simple test that could prevent generations of pain.
I know my genotype. My genotype is AA. Of course I know my genotype. I'm AS. My genotype is AA.
My genotype is AA. My genotype is AA.
Sickle cell is a blood disorder that is inherited from the both parents.
I understand sickle cell as a blood disease that when it affects a person, it causes yellowish eyes, dizziness, weakness, and tiredness.
Sickle cell is a genetic blood disease that shapes the red blood cell and block the flow of the blood. It makes the patient break down easily. You can easily identify a sickle cell patient due to their yellowish eye, and they fall sick easily.
And the government should organize more enlightenment campaign to educate the people on the dangers attached to sickle cell. Then our religious organizations should organize programs to enlighten the masses on the dangers that are surrounding sickle cell, and people should make sure that they go regularly for checkups to know their genotype. And couples before marriage should check their genotype before going into marriage.
Giving lectures to students or young teenagers for them to know their genotype, to know the importance of genotype, of not falling into the trap of falling in love with somebody they cannot get married to.
Counseling couples. There are certain genotypes that can't get married to each other. By creating awareness.
This is Titilayo Makinde Bamidele, a sickle cell warrior. She believes that stigmatization, among other factors, remains a major contributor to the persistence of the disease.
Certain religious beliefs, stigmatization are some of the reasons why, sickle cell continues to grow. A stigmatized sickle cell warrior would not want to educate another person about the disorder because they do not want to be stigmatized. So if stigmatization can be brought to zero when people understand the disorder, when people understand that there's religion and there's medical facts, we'll do better as a people.
Physically, the child is in and out, is having recurrent illnesses, painful crises. Sometimes when you see them, they are in pains, they are not growing well like the other children. Sometimes their growth is slow. Most of the time they are in the hospital, admission, getting blood transfusions and the rest. So it's better we avoid it.
In Nigeria, where faith shapes choices and relationships, the role of religious organizations is crucial in curbing sickle cell.
Islam has encouraged us to shun whatever we have been given red flag on. The Quran is explicit on that. The Quran has said categorically in chapter 2, Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 195, that وَلَا تُلِكُوا بِهَيْدِيكُمْ إِلَّا تَحَلُّكَ. Whatever you have seen, or you have known, or discovery has revealed to you, that this thing is leading to perdition, is leading into destruction, is leading into hardship or suffering, then do not plug your head into it.
And when we talk about health now, it is not just about them. The church will ensure that the children that you may likely give birth to in future, you don't put them at any risk whatsoever. And that is why proper tests will be conducted before the marriage to know and be sure that in no way would you put the innocent child that you give birth to in future at any risk. So if your genotype is not compatible, such union will not be encouraged.
Ending sickle cell begins with knowing your genotype, making informed choices, and offering compassion rather than discrimination. There is hope in every test conducted, in every story shared, and in every life saved. Nigeria can break the cycle. The time to act is now.
The time to act is now, and good a thing we are acting. We're not taking this lightly at all. We're heading back to Lagos now to wrap up our conversation with Mr. Audu. Mr. Audu, I know you're there and you're listening. And good a thing that Vivian now has hope. She has soccer. She'll be reaching out to you after the show, thankfully. But would like to know, what does the future hold? We know that you need financial support. You would like well-meaning individuals. But besides that, what else would you require to truly touch the lives of as many Nigerians as possible?
Truth is, to drive and scale sustainable intervention around sickle cell disorder, we have to come to the table to talk about strategy. And we have a program called the Integrated Health Initiative that speaks to prevention, because from the documentary I just saw, there's the need for strategic education across our schools in the country. So I'm actually proposing that we're able to introduce this into our school curriculums, where kids, from an early, stage in life, they are able to know about sickle cell disorder. Quality, accurate education is disseminated across the entire population. And secondly, the issue of genotype testing is a huge issue in this country. 75% of the children born with this condition are not necessarily coming from parents that don't have an idea of what their seeming genotype is. We have a lot of dilapidated laboratory infrastructure across Nigeria where people go there to get their test results, their tests done, and then they use fake reagents, cheap reagents, just to cut cost and make profit and give people wrong results. So a lot of Nigerians are roaming around the streets and, with their wrong genotype results. And when they come together, you see families tearing apart and breaking apart, and people say, I was AA and you said you were AS. How come we're having a baby with sickle cell disorder? So I think regulatory authorities should actually clamp down and intensify the processes for registering laboratories in this country, and to make sure that people stop getting wrong genotype results. And for the issue of comprehensive care, I think we need to look at our primary healthcare facilities. Let's see how to improve the sickle cell clinics, rehabilitate the sickle cell clinics where people can come and have access. First of all, we need to deal with the access to health issue. Once that is dealt with, we can talk about subsidizing access to health. So we need all of these components on the table for us to scale access to health and to help a larger population. And for the cure for sickle cell disorder, the truth is, across the globe, it's super expensive. But in Nigeria, at the center, in collaboration with Luth, we're rendering the cure for sickle cell disorder right now as it stands. But you see, so many people cannot afford it. A lot of Nigerians are living below the poverty line. How many people can afford hundreds of millions of naira for a particular treatment that would give them cure to this disorder? So we need funding, we need strategy, and we need to look at prevention, comprehensive care, and cure if we want to tackle this problem. So across the country, the centers of excellence that were set up to actually tackle this problem should start working, should start functioning. Religious leaders, everyone hands on deck. Because you know sickle cell, I know sickle cell, it's your business. You have a brother, a cousin, an uncle, a nephew, a neighbor that has sickle cell disorder. So we need to come together and stop feigning ignorance that this does not concern us. Sickle cell disorder is a national health emergency, and it deserves that level of attention if we're going to bring it to its heel. And for Sickle Cell Foundation Nigeria, funding, and not just to SCFN, other institutions, NGOs, organizations doing something good, intentional good, to actually tackle this problem, they need a lot of support and reinforcement from the government and from well-meaning Nigerians. Thank you so much, and that'll be it from my end.
Baudu, Program and Strategic Communications Manager, Sickle Cell Foundation, Nigeria. Well done. We wish you very well, because your success indeed is a success for all Nigerians. And it's time to talk about the elections in Anambra State. And Daniel is in Awka to tell us a bit about what's unveiling as we speak. Daniel, what's up?
And welcome to Awka, the Anambra State capital, where about 2.8 million voters are ready to determine who sits in the government house for the next 4 years. Here at Enugu, Urope Primary School, the voters are very enthusiastic. Before 8:30, the time stipulated for the commencement of the election, we voters have already lined up here and they are waiting to be part of the electoral process. Contrary to speculations by some civil society that there will be voter apathy, it is a far cry, because what you can see here is a testimony that the people are ready to be part of this process. Before now, you can see that all the materials were ready before 8:30. Both the polling units were set, the electoral materials, the ballot papers, and even the security agents, like the PCU in charge of the election have said before now that there will be 3 policemen at each polling unit. The security men are on ground. We can see more than 3 policemen, even beyond that, in all the polling units here. We have up to 3 polling units in this place.
Thank you very much, Daniel. It's quite enlightening to get the gist from Awka about what's happening with the gubernatorial elections for 2025. And we wish all the candidates the very best. Well, Sports Summit is now with Godwin, while the pick of our show. Godwin, take it from here.
What can we do without this young man as far as the Super Eagles are concerned? Scoring 3 goals for his club Galatasaray against Ajax. The coach of Ajax has just been sacked because of Victor Osimhen. On this edition of the show, Sports Summit on Weekend Deal, we're talking about Victor Osimhen, the Super Eagles, and our playoffs game against Gabon, and of course, my mind tells me, Cameroon. My name is Godwin Enagna. Thank you for joining us on another edition of Sports Summit on Weekend Deal.
What makes a true leader in the game? Is it being the first to start? For over a decade, one name has always led in front. That name is Bet Naija. Bet Builder, Bet Freeze, One-Up, Bet Boom. Not just features. With unbeatable odds on over 300,000 live matches, you're playing to win. Just another reason why Bet Naija is truly Nigeria's #1.
We decided to reach out to the man who speaks for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. His name is Promise Epoge. He's been here many times, and at a time like this, with just less than 4 days to the big game against Gabon in Rabat, Morocco, we had to talk to him. Promise, thank you so much for always obliging us.
All right, thank you so much, Gordon, for bringing me on your show today. We're counting down to the World Cup playoffs in Rabat, Morocco, and that is the mood at the moment.
This is a very serious game, Promise. When are the Eagles storming Rabat in preparation for this big game against Gabon?
Well, Godwin, you know that Coach Eric Schell released a list of players, a list of names that will prosecute the next round of games that was on Thursday. We had our players active for their clubs midweek in the Champions League, Europa League. Others competed in the Conference League. They are also very much active for their clubs over this weekend. And certainly the Super Eagles camp will open on Sunday, the 9th of November in Rabat. And we will begin to expect the players to arrive from Sunday as we count down to the game against Gabon on Thursday.
Well, God gave us a second chance, Promise Epoge. For some of these players, this is the biggest game they will be playing in their entire career. Club-side national team of Nigeria. How ready are they?
Well, Godwin, readiness will be an understatement. They say he who wears the shoes knows where it pinches. The playoff is a second chance that our players do not want to take for granted. It is a second chance that they want to take with both hands. The games will not be easy and a target that they want to meet.
Well, that's good to know. How much do we know about the Gabonese? Some will talk about Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang.
Well, Gabon had a very decent qualification campaign. They are a side that has got a very strong attacking potence. They scored plenty of goals during the qualifiers, but they also have some defensive frailties because they conceded plenty of goals. But you see, as far as the playoff is concerned, all man to his tent. Everyone will be trying to undo the other and see us through to the final stage of the playoffs.
Good to know. Promise Efoge. Thank you so very much. Tomorrow is Sunday, and the players are expected to start arriving in camp. Thank you again, and we wish Nigeria all the very best.
Thank you so much, Godwin, for having me on your World Cup ticket for next year.
Build up, bet freeze, one up, bet boom. Bet Nigeria is truly #1.
We wish the Eagles all the very best. My name is Godwin A. Sports Summit on the network service of the NTA. Keep praying for Nigeria. God bless Nigeria.
Of Weekend Deal. Now going straight to the Sporting Live. Of course, still talking about World Cup playoff. FIFA bow to Nigeria, drop South African ref for Eagles versus Panthers tie after NFF's petition. Now, these days, of course, today it's all about the Anambra election. And in two-horse race, 2.8 million voters to determine Soludo Ukachukwu others' fate today. And adequate security arrangements have been made. Police NSCDC assures electorates. Now to the Punch, a different headline here. It's all about the new INEC chair. Anambra decides Amupitan faces litmus test as 2.8 million vote today. IG deploys 55,000 security personnel. 98.8% PVCs collected. INEC. Osimhen is behind. Thelma, we're not talking Osimhen today. Trump threat, and this is the Guardian now. Trump threat. Tinubu seeks global allies to boost Nigeria's war against terrorism. Details of all this can be found on page 2. Now to Saturday Telegraph. Yes, I'm rushing the papers because time is not our friend this morning. Now, police deploys DIGs as 2.8 million voters decide Soludo's others' fate. Details of all this can be found on pages 4 and 5. Nigerians in US reject Trump's attack threat. Details of this can be found on pages 2, 3 and 8. Now to the last paper I have with me this morning, and that is Leadership Weekend. And going straight to the leading story. Nigerian military personnel banned from marrying foreigners, barred from marrying naturalized Nigerians. Officers can't marry non-commissioned personnel. Interesting. We're talking about sickle cell, and people are given, the military is given a different reason why military officers cannot marry to foreigners.
Let me 1 second. Sule, you see my eyes? I have 10 bones speak with you. Osimhen was behind the paper. Osimhen. You say there's no time, but you have time to do
transfer case. Court decides on Osimhen case November 20th.
Finally.
Are you happy now?
There was other good news. Osimhen
here.
Osimhen is coming. Joy is coming. Even Davido is coming. Joy is coming.
Joy is coming. And we just want to round up. We'll join the Anambra Decide studio where Fisayo is standing by to take us through the event happening live in Anambra State. Fisayo.
Thank you very much. I've been enjoying
there?
your banter. And of course, as you saw in the headlines, it's all about Anambra governorship election. Now,